In 2018, I published my first book. It was about my way to work with life within life hypnosis here in Sweden, based on the work of Dr. Michael Newton. And I have started a series now on my YouTube channel to read some chapters from my book, To Soul, Home and Back. And I already recorded two videos about my past life experience as a personality called Helen, who was an obstetrician in Vienna. Now I continue to read from my book about the death of Helen in a hospital in Vienna. And this way I will give you an example from my own Life Between Life session with my colleague, my Newton Institute colleague Angela Noon in London. So now I'll read a chapter called Last Day and Helen's Death. In deep hypnosis, I'm now coming closer to the day of my death in my life as Dr. Helen. At this point, I felt so physically weak that I had to whisper my answers to my Life Between Life facilitator, Angela. That is how authentic my experience in hypnosis was. So Angela says, "So please tell me what is going on right now, Helen. How do you feel?" "I feel so weak because I have worked so much. I'm in a hospital bed and Fritz has died. After his death, I feel no enthusiasm. I'm not that old yet, but I feel completely worn out. I'm not happy, I'm not unhappy, I just feel this is it. I'm in a bed in the hospital where I used to work. The nurses are very nice to me. There are no relatives here with me, just the nurses." Angela says, "You are a very good doctor. Would you like to tell me more about your medical condition right now, Helen?" "It is something with my breathing, maybe a lung disease. That is why I have become so skinny. But I do not know why I have problems with my lungs. I feel that my voice is like a souffle that sinks." And I start to whisper. I can only speak like this. Very low energy now. I need to get out of this body because it's very tired. I don't think I had a single free day. It was such hard labor with less and less personal stimuli because my work took over. I went on like a machine during the last years. Angela says, "What happens with you now?" "Strange, I do not feel scared, just numb. I think I go in and out of my body. I go out and I travel. I experience things and then I return. Time does not matter at all. I'm half dead in a way. Yes, the body gives up easily. There is nobody around except the nurses. I sneak out in the middle of the night, nobody there. I think I have been half out, half in for a long time." "Can you help me understand now if you, Helen, have some similarities with your present incarnation as Rita?" Angela asked me. "I feel proud in one way, but on the other hand, I did not take care of myself. This tendency to be a workaholic is in Rita's life too. As Helen, I do not live my own life, but I give up myself completely. Really completely. It is only the moment with Fritz, the few moments when I can relax a little. But when I went home to my place and he went home to his family, he had a family, you know. In that way it was more, even though I'm a woman, I'm more like a man in that sense, because I did not do any feminine things, whatever that would be. But anyway, I did not care to dress nicely. I used my work outfit all the time. How boring is that? Angela says, what makes you finally die? I sneak out in the middle of the night. For a moment I look from above at the hospital where I worked all my life. It is wonderful to move around so freely and not to be in the skinny body anymore. The nurses have not noticed yet that I'm dead. I just move about for a while to say goodbye, and then I'm ready to move on in the morning. I was a workaholic, so I have some problems leaving the hospital, even though I have died. What worries me is that there is nobody who can carry on my work when I die. Angela says, sorry to hear that you are worried. Is there anything that could make your departure easier? Strange, but it feels like I did not really teach anybody. It is like a secret. It is strange, yes. I don't have time to stay here any longer. I must move on now. There were a few nurses that understood. They are sad when they find me dead. Yes, they will remember. And they are thinking of me. I now see a movie about the life in the hospital and with those who were kind of enemies. They are now happy when I died, but it doesn't matter anymore. Now I only feel a relief to leave all this behind. I have started to distance myself more and more. Now I'm in a hurry again. I'm laughing. It actually was hard to leave the his hospital, but I finally let go now. I'm going. Yes, so I still remember how lovely it was to die. And that is my main point here, that it's really not scary to die at all. And many of my clients who experience a death in a past life, they don't have a fear of death anymore, which is wonderful. It doesn't make one want to die, really. Quite the opposite. It gives a hunger to live and to have, to live to the fullest until we die one day. Yes, so I will read another chapter in my book, which is called Restoration and Reflection. Most of my clients go to a place of restoration after a life lived. In my life as Helen, my body was very worn out, just like stepping out of a costume that could have been perfect for a role in a screenplay. I felt great to leave the skinny and worn-out body of Helen behind and be free again as a soul. Helen died in the hospital where she worked all her life. After her death, it was difficult for her as a soul to leave her body behind. She wanted to linger and make sure that her patients in the hospital were taken care of. It was very nice to feel the support from my Life Between Life facilitator during this phase, when I, as Helen, had doubts to leave the hospital after I died. This is what I report to my Life Between Life facilitator after my passing as a hard-working Dr. Helen, and finally traveled to Soul Home, difficult word, willingly. She says, Angela says, Helen, please tell me how you feel after you have left your body behind in the hospital bed. I have a feeling of being carried away so nicely. The one that holds me has a very light and sensitive touch simultaneously, and it feels safe. It's a light touch. It is a specialist in holding. I have a feeling that I have been taken to a place of rest. It is not like a hospital, but it is a place for the one that was carrying me leaves now. Angela says, How did it feel to be carried like that? Those who are those who are here specialize in taking care of those who are tired, those who have been in war and those who have worked too hard. It is a place where exhausted souls can rest. It feels like I am floating around, but also that I have my place here. It is not like a bed, more like a place where you would dock, as one imagines you would be in a spaceship. This is my dock, and this is where I recharge. Angela says, sounds wonderful that you are taken so well care of now. And I say, yes, it takes a while, because for a long time I used all my reserves working, so I need help to get extra energy now. I'm very, very, very worn out. Angela says, can you explain what Helen and you, your present incarnation as Rita, have in common? Rita has learned to raise her energy a little with meditation and other methods, while for Helen, dealing with childbirth was like a drug. She was rejuvenated by each childbirth that went well. It is the same for Rita. Rita raises her energy when she knows a client is on the way to her. She thinks, must prepare, and in a way it spills over on herself. Yes, truly. So, I thank you for listening to my recording today. I will continue to read from my book To Soul, Home and Back, and I hope you will enjoy listening to my recordings from now on, and maybe to give me a few likes in my recordings if you truly like what I do. And you of course are welcome to tell me if you don't like it, of course. And well, why would you listen then, I gather. But this is the way the cookie crumbles in YouTube, that you want these likes, because then a few others will find my channel. So I hope you enjoyed listening today, and thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.